Love is the core, the home is the front.
Is this not the money for what they do? They will need to marry Shiba. Ṣùkùn lélẹ̀ mi, ṣùkùn dílé tún lélẹ̀ báyìí sí ni. I've been trying to open this thing now. Open! Irú ilẹ̀kùn lélẹ̀ báyìí sí. Ẹ̀ka mi ò.
What are you trying to do?
I'm trying to open the door.
To open the door?
Yes, I want to open the door.
What have you been doing?
I've been trying to. I will just slide and just.
Can't you see the sign on me? What is this?
This is pool.
A pool. Then what have you been doing?
I've been
Pulling. You are pushing. You're supposed to pull. Did you go to school? This is pulling. This is pushing. Now pull it and let us see whether you know you. You are still pushing. Pull. Yeah. Pull. Draw it to yourself. Okay, draw it to yourself. Draw it.
no wonder.
Never you think it's demon.
Open the name of it.
You should not be angry with the door. You should only supposed to be angry with your stupidity. Did you go to school at all?
No, be angry.
Illiteracy is not a disease. It's a disaster.
You
don't need to know.
I was playing.
I'm so sorry. So you are angry with the door?
I'm angry.
Pull the door. I
never knew this.
Wow!
I would have broken down the door.
Can you see? This is how life is. Many people are just ignorant. Instead of pulling, we've been pushing. And that's the problem with many marriages. Many people are just illiterate in life. Most of us are blaming demons, we are blaming devil. Why devil has nothing to do with it? You see, illiteracy is not about not going to school nowadays. The definition of illiteracy has changed. It used to be inability to read and write. But now, illiteracy simply means inability to know the right thing and do it. A lot of people have been married for years, they are married illiterate. They are doing everything wrong to destroy their marriage. So, you are welcome into Family Lifeline. My name is Bisi Adewale, your family coach. I will be talking to you about don't be a marriage illiterate. Don't be a marriage illiterate. I'll be opening your eyes to areas where people have been marriage illiterate and what you can do about your marriage. I'll be right back and I will be exposing this one to you. Thank you for joining me. You are welcome back. I told you I will be talking about don't be a marriage illiterate. Your contention with me may be I'm not an illiterate. So before we go deeply into this discourse, I want us to know who a marriage illiterate is. Then after that, you will be able to know whether you are a marriage illiterate or not. Number one, if you have not read a marriage book in years, you are a marriage illiterate. You will think you know, but you don't really know. An average illiterate may think he knows, but he knows nothing. Likewise, you are in a marriage for years, but you didn't read any book. Number two, you've not attended any training on marriage in months. You see, many people are so proud. They think they know marriage, and that's what makes them illiterate. The course for marriage seminar, you didn't attend. Marriage webinar, you are too proud to attend. You can't read books. You can't attend any marriage seminar. You are a marriage illiterate. Number three, you don't know anything about temperament, the word temperament. Okay, let me ask you, what's your temperament? You don't even know. And you say, You went to school. You didn't know who a sanguine is. You didn't know who a phlegmatic is. You didn't know who a choleric is. You don't know who a melancholy is. These are the 4 principal temperaments. You have one temperament. Your spouse has one temperament. All these temperaments, they have their strong points and they have their weaknesses. Many of your complaints about your spouse is about his or her temperament. But you are complaining because you are illiterate. You don't know nothing. You don't know anything about temperament. And you said you are married. I've been married for 15 years. My marriage is 35 years. And so what? Many people have been married for 35 years of horrors, 35 years of tragedy. It is not about how old your marriage is that makes you an expert in marriage. It's about how much you know. That is why you need to get out of illiteracy and learn about marriage. Number 4, you know nothing about love languages. What is the love language of your wife? What is the love language of your husband? You don't know. And you say you are married. You say you know everything about marriage. Many of us are even counseling people about marriage. You are counseling out of error. You are counseling out of error. At times, it can be really annoying when you see people talking to us and they are bragging that they know marriage. And you ask them, what is marriage metamorphosis? That's number 5. You know nothing about marriage metamorphosis. And you've been married for years. You are an illiterate. You are illiterate. It's time to know what your own love language is, what the love language of your wife is, what the love language of your spouse is. You need to know about marriage metamorphosis. How marriage changed over the years. If I ask you, you know metamorphosis of mosquitoes. You know metamorphosis of a butterfly. But you don't know human metamorphosis. You don't know marriage metamorphosis. It's the reason why when your marriage is metamorphosizing, you think there's a trouble. You think you mismarried. You think marriage is difficult. Then you are shouting, marriage is a scam, 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 scam. Marriage is a scam. Oh, it's not a scam. Your marriage is metamorphosizing. You are moving from one state of marital life to another. You don't know anything about adjustment in marriage. And you are bragging, I've been married for years. What is adjustment in marriage? And when there's need for adjustment, you turn into battle. Because you don't know that adjustment is one of the principal things that must be in your marriage. If your marriage must be good.
Family lifeline. Family lifeline.
You don't know anything about 8 desperate needs of your wife. 8 desperate needs of your wife. All over the world, wherever we are privileged to minister to, in churches, in organizations, in companies, I usually ask them, what is the first need of a woman in marriage? And people always tell me, number 1 need is money. Some people will say number 1 need is love. Surprise, surprise, a lot of women do not even know their need in marriage. But a recent research pointed that number 1 need of a woman in marriage is not money. Number 1 need of a woman in marriage is not love. Number 1 need of a woman in marriage is not care. Number 1 need of a woman is not attention. Number 1 need of a woman is protection. When a woman does not feel protected, they will even run away from their billionaire husband. When they don't feel protected, they won't even feel loved. That is why majority of billionaires worldwide, they are divorcees, they are separated from their wives. Their wives run away because they are no more feeling protected. I've just mentioned the first one. You need to know all 8 desperate needs of your wife. I wrote a book about this recently. I call it 8 desperate needs of your wife. You can download it on familiarbooks.com. Quickly go there. You are not yet married until you know the 8 desperate needs of the person you are married to. You know nothing about 8 desperate needs of your husband. A lot of women, when you ask them, what's number 1 desperate need of your husband? They will say, oh, sex. Some people will say food. Not at all. Food is not number 1 need of a man in marriage. Some people even say the road to the heart of a man is through the kitchen door. That is not the whole truth. Men may like food, but food is not their number 1 need. And if you think food is number 1 need, then restaurants can do it better than you. They can do it better than you.
What do you supposed to know? What is it? What is number one need of a man in marriage? Respect. Respect. Because you didn't know this, that is why you remove respect and you're expecting love. You remove respect, you're expecting protection. You remove respect, you are disrespecting your husband, and you are expecting him to care for you. It's because you are a marriage illiterate. Do you know the 54 pillars of marriage? What are they? You don't know. You don't know. Also, you don't know number 10, you don't know 8 crisis centers in marriage. Then why do you think you know marriage? I've mentioned 10 things you don't know about marriage that leave a lot of vacuum. There's a lacuna in your marriage, lacuna of knowledge and wisdom and understanding. It is not devil, it is not evil, it is not your mother-in-law, your father-in-law that's causing trouble in your marriage. It is not the state of economy. It is marriage illiterate that is fighting your marriage. You need counsel, you need to read books, you need to learn. Then your marriage will never remain the same again in the name of Jesus. So now, let me tell you one thing. If you will not be a marriage illiterate, you need to keep on learning. You need to keep on learning. Now, let me tell you some other things that makes you a marriage illiterate. You hate marriage counseling. An average couple will wait 5 years in turbulent marriage before they seek help, if they seek help at all. Can you imagine? An average couple will stay 5 years in a turbulent marriage before they seek help, if they seek help at all. That makes them marriage illiterate. Do you notice this? An average couple do fight about same thing over and over. Couple that are fighting about sex, they'll be fighting about sex and there'll be no solution. Some people are fighting about money. They don't go for counsel about it, they don't read about it, and they will be fighting about it all the days of their lives. You always reject food when you are angry with your wife. Wow! This is very common with a lot of men. When they are angry, they reject food. I trust myself. I can never get angry with my food. Is it not my food? You blame me for that? My food? In my house? On my plate? I will first eat before I get angry. I will eat before I get angry. Only baby husband normally reject food. I will not eat your food unless you beg me. I will not eat your food. And for 1 week, 2 weeks, I even read about a man who would come back home from the office because he was angry with his wife. He will not enter into the house. He was sleeping inside the car for 3 weeks. He said until his wife came out to come and beg him, and the wife refused to beg. He kept on sleeping inside the mosquito for 3 weeks. Baby husband, illiterate husband. Are you getting to see it now that many of our people are illiterate? You always keep malice with your spouse. You always keep malice. When you are angry, you keep malice for weeks. Most of you will be behaving like pigs. Husband and wife, good morning, in the same house. I counseled a couple recently. They've been keeping malice in the same room for 5 years. They were not talking to each other. The closer they have to discussion is sending text to each other, sending WhatsApp, or they use what is known as Children Communication System, CCS. What is Children Communication System? Children Communication System is a system whereby you are sending your children to go and meet your husband. You are sending your children to go and meet your wife. Go and tell your daddy, what does he want to eat? Go and tell your mommy, I want to eat this. Go and tell your daddy, your food is ready, so that you can avoid talking to each other. If you are using this kind of communication system, you are an illiterate.
Family Lifeline.
Thank you for joining me in this telecast. If you want to watch this telecast again, please go to my YouTube channel at Bisi Adewale. Watch it over and over again and groom yourself and grow yourself. And I will encourage you to get many of our books on familiarbooks.com. Download them. Everything I mentioned in this episode, I have books about them. Go and download them so that you can increase yourself, you can improve yourself, and be a better partner Also follow me on Instagram, LinkedIn, and Twitter at Bisi Adewale. When you do that, you will be able to be informed more about marriage and grow from illiteracy to literacy. Also, visit my blog every day, bisiadewale.com. Visit this blog to learn more about our programs and about so many things about marriage. Get a lot of quality articles and improve yourself. Thank you again for joining me. You see, your family life is very important. Take good care of your marriage.
Family Lifeline.
Please call 0806-831-2004. Family Lifeline. Building families, molding destiny.
Family Lifeline.